Is having a destination wedding cheaper? No. I didn't even wear my wedding shoes on my wedding day. I had on sandals. It looked cheap to me, to be quite honest. You don't know how much a wedding is until you in it and you like, goddamn, I should have started saving before I even knew you. And while this was my wedding, I also wanted to create a memorable and an unforgettable experience for my guests. We had a time last night. What is up, you guys? It's your girl Z here. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below and join the team. If you are not new here, welcome back. I am finally here with my long overdue, highly requested destination wedding Q&A slash recap slash giving you all the information that you need to know, okay? So if you do not know, my name is Z. I was a 2023 bride, destination bride. I got married in July of 2023, so almost 7 months ago now at this point. And or is it 8? Oh my god, I can't even keep up now at this point. Anyway, I got married at Dreams Playa Mujeres in Cancun, Mexico. Playa Mujeres is about, I would say, 40 minutes outside of like Cancun, so it's about 40 to 45 minutes away from the airport. So honestly, the most secluded, just it gives all the vibes that it needs to give for a wedding. But we're gonna get into it, okay? But yeah, I got married at Dreams Playa Mujeres, and I'm here to share everything with you guys. I have gotten so many DMs, messages, because I did document my wedding planning journey here on YouTube as well as over on my TikTok. And baby, the TikTok brides went up, okay? The TikTok brides went up on the wedding content, so I figured it was very much needed to do kind of like a long form video to answer all of your questions that I've been getting. I've met so many of you through DM and messages, whether you reached out to me on TikTok or Instagram or left comments down here on my YouTube videos. I'm here to answer all of the questions, okay? So let's get into it. So first things first, I have my iPad here that has literally my budget planning spreadsheet that the resort gave to me. So I am going to be going over majority of the pricing, all of our upgrades that we did. We're going to do all of that, okay? So first things first, I kind of just want to, the main one question that I got is always surrounded by budget, pricing, upgrades, all of those things, okay? So let's get into it. So like I said, I got married at Dreams Playa Mujeres, and I can really only speak to Dreams Playa Mujeres since that's where I got married. I believe most of the Dreams and Secrets resorts are pretty much one and the same. But again, these are going to be specific for Dreams Playa Mujeres just because that's where I got married, okay? My wedding took place July 23rd at Dreams, and overall, just starting high level, I absolutely loved everything about my wedding week, my wedding weekend. It was literally a dream. I always tell people my wedding was a dream at Dreams, okay? It was absolutely everything I could have imagined, and especially planning a destination wedding. I know for me, I am such a hands-on type A person when it comes to planning things. It was a little hard to be like from a distance, and you know, you're planning things from afar. You can't really go look at things often like you would when you are getting married stateside. So it was literally just everything that I could have imagined. And I know y'all are probably like, everybody says that, but really, truly, like, the Dreams wedding team is A1. Now, I did have a wedding planner stateside, but I mostly, and I'll touch on that as we get deeper into it, but I did use her mostly for like travel agent duties. So just a quick little recap, I do have a full wedding playlist that I will link down below that starts from like me going wedding dress shopping, and then I really started to sit down and do like in-depth update videos at month 9. So that was before we even went to go do our site visit. I did take you guys on our site visit as well, so I had the whole journey. I have the playlist listed down below. But I will say, for any type A bride who is like myself and you need to see things and touch things and know what it's gonna be, I highly recommend doing a site visit, which is what we did. We did our site visit 6 months before our wedding. Our wedding was in July. We went to do our site visit in January. And honestly, doing the site visit helped ease my mind with a lot of things, because by that point, majority of our wedding had got planned. When we did the site visit, we did a menu tasting. I did my hair and makeup trial. Like, I did everything during my site visit, and that was the best decision. So just want to put that out there. So let's go ahead and get started. So one of the main questions that I always get asked about is pricing. How much did it cost? What was the budget? All of that. And then I feel like one of the misconceptions that go along and tie into that is having a destination wedding cheaper? My answer is gonna be no. And I'm speaking only from my wedding, the wedding that we wanted. It was not necessarily cheaper. I do feel like we got more for our money. We got more bang for our buck getting married in Mexico. Because you have to think, me and my husband, we were there. We got a week-long vacation out of it. We were at the resort for a week, and we had multiple events. So we had a welcome party the night before the wedding. We did a bunch of like different, just, you know, things with our guests. Most of our guests got there like Thursday or Friday. Our wedding fell on a Sunday, so we literally had the whole weekend with them. So I do feel like we got more for our money than we would have had we got married stateside, if that makes more sense. Just for the simple fact that we were able to get multiple events, multiple days out of it, rather than just a regular 6-hour day, you know, or you don't even get a full 6 hours at your wedding. You know, your wedding starts at what, 5 o'clock, and then your reception goes until 11 maybe. Like that's it. That's all you get. So it was definitely more worthwhile, and we got more bang for our buck. So now, if you are more so on the simpler side, because I will say we had a guest party of 85 plus, so we didn't have necessarily a small destination wedding. There are some weddings that you can plan destination if you only have 20 or 30 guests. You know, ours was based on our guest count and how many people we had coming, so it wasn't necessarily feasible to have a $10,000, $15,000 wedding with 85 plus people. So you also have to take into account of how many guests you have coming, because if your budget is $15,000, by all means you can definitely have a destination wedding for $15,000. You just have to take into account what's important to you, how many guests you plan on having, or, you know, it could be just you and your immediate family. By all means, yes, it can be a lot cheaper if that's the route you're going for. But like I said, for the wedding that we wanted, the wedding that we had, it wasn't necessarily the cheaper route, but it was just the more worthwhile route, if that makes sense. For dreams, we did the Beyond Memorable package, and so with that package, you have to be at least a year out from your wedding in order to even book that package. If you are 11, 10, 9 months out, they will not let you book that package. You have to be at least a year out. So Beyond Memorable is pretty much their largest package that they offer. They have 2 different tiers for the Beyond Memorable. So the first smaller tier is if you have a guest count between 50 and 79, and then after you go past 80, then you get bumped up to the next tier package. So with that, and again, I will repeat, these are the prices that I paid. I got married in 2023, but I signed my contract with Dreams like February 2022. So I got in on all of like the 2021, 2022 packaging before the price increased. So this is just going off of what I paid. Just keep in mind that prices have changed and have increased since then. So for the Beyond Memorable package, for the 80 to 100 guest package, that was $11,999, so $12,000. And we also got married on a Sunday too, so that was like Saturday and Sunday. Of course, the days are higher. I mean, the prices are higher. So we did get married on a Sunday, and we had the biggest package. So that was $12,000. Now, I will say, when you do these packages, they are literally the bare minimum. So don't think, oh, for 80 to 100 guests, $12,000? Oh, bet. You are not getting any florals. That does not include no DJ. That does not include any lights. That does not include anything except for your ceremony, your cocktail hour, and then the basic setup for your reception. And that does include food and a full open bar. So again, if you are completely fine with that and not having any flowers, not having any extra decor, you just want to get married, and you just want to, well, you ain't got no DJ included in that, so I don't know, if you just want to play a playlist, that's what you get for the $12,000, okay? So, and I think that's when people kind of, again, go back to that concept of like, oh, you can have a destination wedding for $12,000. Yeah, but that's just the basics. That I don't even got, you know, I don't even got a candle in there, you know. So it's very bare minimum basic package, okay? So with that, they give you this whole, oh, my thing went off. They give you a whole spreadsheet of upgrades that you can choose from. We did quite a bit of upgrades, okay? Quite a bit of upgrades, because again, it was the wedding that I had in my head. The wedding that we were going for required a lot of upgrades, just because again, you don't really get much for that $12,000. Starting with some of the upgrades that we did, and I will be sharing pricing. Again, this is just pricing that I was given back in 2022. I don't know what this pricing is now. I will also make note, if you are having a destination wedding, be prepared to pay the tax on everything, okay? And I didn't know if this was just because I was getting married at a resort, but one of my bridal TikTok friends, she got married in the DR, like literally a few days before me, and hers was not at a resort, but she said like they were taxed heavily as well too. So with getting married at Dreams, they did charge a 16% tax and a 15% service fee on everything, okay? On everything. Starting out with my ceremony. So I did the over the water ceremony, and I'll be popping in pictures and videos, or you know, anything related to what I'm speaking about. I'll be popping it in over here so you guys can visually see what I'm talking about. So one of the things that kind of had the girls going crazy on TikTok when I posted about it was my ceremony. And honestly, this ceremony setup is what sold me on getting married at Dreams. So we did the over the water ceremony, and y'all, this was just breathtaking. When I saw that this was a ceremony option at Dreams, I said, okay, search is over. This is where I'm getting married. I have been, you know, researching resorts for a good 6 months after we got engaged, before I settled on Dreams. But when I saw that this glass over the water platform was an option, I said, okay, bet that this is where we're gonna get married. This is literally what sold me on the Dreams resort. Dreams was already in my top, I think it was in my like top 5 resorts. I had, and I don't know how to pronounce this, I may just put it in the caption, I may put it down in the description bar, but it's called the Playa Mujeres. They are in the same kind of like secluded, gated little area. I was looking at Playa Mujeres, Finest Playa Mujeres, Hyatt Ziva, Dreams, and there was one other one. I can't remember. Dang, I can't remember. If I remember it, I'll list all 5 down in the description box. But anyway, once I like really started digging and I saw all of the different options for Dreams, I said, oh, is that a glass platform? Oh, bet I don't care how much it is. This is where I'm getting married. I said, I don't care. This is it. So by that time, I had met my wedding planner, and I actually met her at a wedding expo, and I vlogged that whole experience as well. I met her there, and by the time I brought her on to be my wedding planner, I told her, I was like, hey, I've decided on Dreams. Dreams is where I want to get married. She said, say less. She reached out to the resort, and I will say it is better to have your travel agent reach out to the resort. You kind of get a faster response by having one of them reach out to the wedding department. And when we inquired about, you know, hey, she wants to do the over the water ceremony, they were like, okay, great. That platform is $3,000 extra. I said, oh, okay. So they were very upfront with me because again, I was very upfront when I had my planner reach out, like, hey, this is my bride. She's looking to get married in July. What days do you have available for the over the water ceremony? Like, I was very much sold on what I wanted. So we went back and forth, and I will also say, have a couple of days in mind, backup dates. Like, you know, we always pick a date and like, oh, I want July 23rd. Well, that ain't available. So you need to have about 4 more dates just to give to them so that they can see what's available. Because when we initially reached out, I wanted to do 7/7. So I was like, okay, we want to do 7/7. And they were like, sorry, that day's not available. Well, okay. And then I went back with, okay, well, is July 18th available? Nope, that's not available either. And July 18th was a Tuesday. So July 23rd was the third option that we gave them. No, July 22nd and July 23rd were the next 2 dates that we gave them. And they were like, we got the 23rd open. I said, okay, well, go ahead and book us. So definitely have multiple days in mind just in case the day that you really want is not available. Because I will say Dreams, and specifically Dreams Playa Mujeres, is one of the most popular wedding resorts. So have a couple days in mind. Back to the upgrades. They flat out told me, yeah, you want this, that's going to be already a $3,000 upgrade price. I said, okay. So if you think about that, $12,000 for the package, $3,000 just for the over the water glass aisle. We're already at $15K. Okay? I'm just going to add these things up so y'all are keeping in mind that these upgrades do cost. They are going to cost, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm just going to be as transparent as possible, because honestly, when I was planning my wedding, I wish I had a video like this to watch, because I went into this very blind, because I'm not going to front. I was one of those people thinking like, oh, we're going to save so much money getting married in Mexico, having a destination wedding. Baby, where is the savings? Where? Because we didn't save anything, okay? But that's neither here nor there. So in addition to our over the water ceremony, of course we needed florals. We needed some flowers. And I did not go overboard with the flowers, okay? Because we were already outside. Mexico is already a view in itself. We didn't need a bunch of florals because, again, florals are expensive. Whether you in the States, whether you in Mexico, it don't matter where you are. The flowers are going to add up, okay? And so I knew I wanted flowers for my ceremony. I was not pressed to have a bunch of flowers for my reception. I actually was resourceful and had them use the flowers from the arch and the pedestal and use them at the reception, okay? I was not getting a whole bunch of extra flowers. So for our square arch that we had was $3,400. However, when you add on the tax and the service fee, it came up to $4,400. So basically $1,000 in taxes and fees was added on to that. So the arch was $4,400. Then the 2 white pedestals things or whatever, y'all let's see what I'm talking about. Those were $490 a piece. Add on the tax and service, it came out to $1,200. So where we at? 12 plus 3 We was at 15. Now you add on $4,400 for that arch. We are at what? 19,400. 1,200 for the pedestals, the things. What does this say? 20,600. That's just the ceremony. Just the ceremony, y'all. Y'all see where this is going? Okay. Let's keep going. So that was my ceremony. I kept my ceremony decor, again, very minimal, because I wanted the glass owl to be the center of everything. It just was, y'all, I truly felt like a bridal mermaid princess walking across that aisle in the middle of like the pool thing. It's such a beautiful setup. It is such a beautiful setup. If you are debating getting married at Dreams, if you are getting married at Dreams, top tier ceremony, okay? Another huge upgrade that we had for our reception was fireworks. Now, I tussled with this add-on so much because I was like, baby, that's a lot of money for 1 minute of fireworks. I don't know. This was something that I wanted, but then I kept taking it off of the budget planner. Then I would put it back on, take it off, put it. I literally toyed with it up until maybe I would say a month before, because I was just so like, oh, I don't know if I want to. I don't know. But shout out to my mama, because she was like, Zenise, add the damn fireworks, okay? She was like, this is your wedding at the end of the day. This is your wedding. This is going to be one of the most memorable days of your life. Add the fireworks. It's not that big of a deal. And I was like, you right. Okay. So I did get questions about if we did the fireworks through the resort. Yes, we did. So for the fireworks, and mind you, we did the lowest package available. So with that, it was 1 minute with soft intensity. So this wasn't even like the highest intensity that they offered. They offered soft intensity, I think like a medium, and then a high intensity. And then you had the option of doing 1, 2, or 3 minutes. Baby, like I said, we did 1 minute soft intensity. And for that, that was $2,300. But then with the added service and tax, it came out to $3,000. So that was another upgraded price, okay? And then I'm literally not gonna go through every single upgrade, but what was the are y'all keeping up? So that was another $3,000 onto the price. So now we had 23, okay? So another upgrade that I feel like is like, y'all can't give me no lights, is lighting, okay? So our reception was at the Central Garden, and it gets dark out there. You're outside, so you need lighting. Lighting was $1,500. Is that right? No, my bad. $1,200. Let me not put more on it than what it was. It was $1,200. But I was just very surprised by how much lighting is, and I'm like, well, we absolutely need lighting. We can't be out here just partying in the pitch black dark. So that's another upgrade that you have to think about if you are, you know, having your reception outside, is you have to have lighting out there. So that's a $1,200 add-on. And we did the fairy lights. So I'll pop a picture in right here of what that looked like. And then just a few other upgrades. I did upgrade our bar. So, and I'll pop in a picture of what the normal bar looks like, because we did have it at our welcome party, which I'm getting ready to speak on in a second. But this was the normal bar, and I just was like, I am not about to have this utility looking bar at my wedding. So I did upgrade our bar to like a white front facing bar, and I'll have to dig through my pictures to see if I can find a picture of it. But if you want like a cute, nice looking bar, you do have to pay for an upgrade. And I believe that upgrade was $600, if I'm not mistaken, $650. but the total it came out to was $850. So almost $1,000 just to upgrade the bar. Chill. So just some other small little upgrades that we did have. I'm not gonna go deep into pricing. They all were, I think the only one that ended up being over $1,000 was our dance floor. So we had the dance floor, but we had our personalized monogram, and that was $1,500. But then just other small upgrades was the cigar roller, which was $500. We had a photo booth there for 3 hours. That was like $800. And then we did have like cold fireworks go off. It was supposed to go off during our first dance, but it was still pretty light outside. So we ended up moving it, shifting it, and the cold fireworks went off during the garter removal. It was actually really cool. Love that we made that little switch. But yeah, those are just some of the other upgrades that we had. So one big upgrade, and I'll say big just because of how much we ended up spending for it, was actually for our welcome party, which was the night before the wedding. So with the Beyond Memorable package, you do get a included rehearsal dinner that covers up to 30 guests. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the video, but we did not have a bridal party. So we did not have groomsmen, bridesmaids, none of that stuff. My nephew served as Sean's best man, and he carried the rings, and that was that. So we didn't have a bridal party. So what we decided to do was to take our rehearsal dinner and turn that into a welcome party. So with the included rehearsal dinner, that covers 30 guests. Like I said, we had 85 plus. So what we ended up having to do was to pay for those additional 50 something people. We ended up doing like a taco bar, and then again, it was like a welcome party. Our DJ was there, which I will touch on in a minute. But we did a welcome party, just very informal. We allowed people to say their speeches and stuff there, just because we were not planning to do speeches at the reception. So we ate, people said their speeches, we partied because the DJ had us turned up. So it was really such a great way to start and just give people a little taste of like, all right, this is what y'all can expect tomorrow night at the reception. And when I say our all-white welcome party was so lit, we had so much fun. It was outside at the Dulce Terrace, and it was just such a good vibe. I highly, highly recommend any destination bride, if you can do a welcome party, do one. It literally sets the tone for the weekend, and it also gives your guests an additional event to look forward to. Because the main thing for me when planning this wedding, while this was my wedding, I also wanted to create a memorable and an unforgettable experience for my guests. I wanted them to be able to leave our wedding weekend and be like, bruh, we had a time last night, okay? I wanted them to be able to leave our wedding and be like, that shit was lit. I wanted them to be able to leave and be like, we had a ball, we had a time, okay? And including a welcome party, I feel like definitely helps set the tone. Now, we didn't have our welcome party until the second night all of our guests were there. Baby, the first night all of our guests were there, they were showing out, okay? But back to the welcome party. So for the welcome party, we ended up having to pay $2,500, which in the grand scheme of it was not a whole lot, because again, 30 guests were covered, so we really only had to pay for the additional 55 guests. So $2,300 was, what did I say, $2,500? What did I look? $2,500. So the additional $2,500 to me felt worth it, because again, we had so much fun at the welcome party. It was so lit, and it was another event for our guests to be excited about and have a good time at. So that was an upgrade in a sense, just because again we didn't have a bridal party, so we didn't necessarily need to have a rehearsal dinner, so we took that opportunity to make it a welcome party. And we didn't do a whole lot of decor for that. We did do a personalized little like champagne cart that had our hashtag on it, Destination Polk. That cart was $400. It wasn't a huge, you know, it wasn't a huge expense, so that was like $400. So in total with the cart and the actual, we spent $2,900 for the whole welcome party. And with that you do get an open bar as well. We had the gray bar, which I showed you guys a few minutes ago. That was the bar that we had at the welcome party. So that's why I was fine with just having that at the welcome party, but I needed to make it a little fancier for the wedding. So highly recommend having a welcome party if you can. Oh, I will say, if you do not have somebody like one of your guests who's like ordained to orchestrate your ceremony, you do have to pay for a minister, and that is $200. So they gonna get their money, okay? They gonna get their money either way. So that was something else that we did have to pay for, was the minister, which was $200. So that was pretty much all of our upgrades, things we had to pay additionally for in addition to the $12,000. So I lost track of count, and to be honest, y'all, I have not tallied up how much we spent in total for the wedding. I don't care at this point because the money is gone. It's been gone, so it is what it is. But outside of, and again, those were all of the expenses that we paid just for the wedding weekend, I guess you could say. That does not include what we paid our DJ, because we did bring our own DJ. Shout out to my girl Erin. I've known her since middle school, and she's DJ'd so many of my events, my family's events, and I knew I wanted to have her for my wedding, because for me, I was not about to take the time and put together a whole playlist and all of that to pass to a DJ that was local to Mexico. I just felt more comfortable bringing somebody that I knew would know the vibes that I needed for my wedding without me even having to put anything together for her. Literally the only info, song data song info that I provided to her was the songs that we needed for the ceremony, and then like songs for all of our dances, like first dance, father-daughter dance, mother and son dance, and then I did do a dance with my mom as well too. So those were the only songs that I gave her. Other than that, she knew the vibes and she set the vibes, and it was a lituation, okay baby? We had a time, and Erin did that. So again, this does not include what we paid for her travel. We also did bring our own photography and videography team, so it was a team of 3. Again, these are just expenses that we decided were important to us, so you by all means do not need to bring your own DJ, bring your own photo. Like, there, I'm pretty sure, are plenty of options local to Mexico that you could do that. But again, for me, I just wanted to have people that I knew and trusted already. My planner actually was getting married. She got married 4 months after me, and she introduced me to her photographer, and that's who ended up shooting our wedding. So that's why we decided to just bring our own team, because it was well trusted. So those were expenses. We did pay for their travel as well. Hair and makeup. I got a lot of questions about hair and makeup. I did use a local vendor to Mexico. I used Beauty Experts MX, and I will pop their Instagram right here. Highly recommend them. I saw so many brides talk about them in like the Black Destination Brides group on Facebook, and so I was like, let me give them a try. Like I mentioned, when we did our site visit 6 months prior to our wedding, I did my bridal trial then, because I wanted to be able to see, like, okay, let me see how they work out. If not, I gotta go back home and try and find somebody else. absolutely loved my artist. Her name was Arlie. I'm gonna pop a picture in of her right here. She was the sweetest. She did my trial as well as came back and did my hair and makeup day of. So before leaving for the wedding, I did do a sew-in. I tussled with doing a sew-in or a wig. Baby, I'm so glad I did the sew-in because that wig would have been sliding back and probably would have fell in the water with how hot it was, okay? It was so hot, and I already know if I did a wig, the lace would be lifting. I know nothing about wigs, okay? Y'all know I'm natural, so I knew nothing about wigs. I was like, Zenise, don't even set yourself up for no wig. It was, first of all, it was too hot, so it probably, like I said, would have melted and slid right off my head. So I got a sew-in before leaving, and then I just had Arlie style my hair, which, baby, she sprayed me down. My girls were in the room with me while I was getting ready, and they was like, oh, what she know about the got to be spray? Like, she was spraying me down to make sure that those curls lasted. And that was another question that I got about how my hair held up in the weather. So again, we got married in July. July is hot, baby. It is hot. I will say, for any of my brides getting married May, June, July, it's gonna be hot. Be prepared, okay? And my hair held up pretty well. I will say, when I did my hair for the wedding, I did a versatile sew-in. Now, when I did my trial in January, I just did a side part, and then I was like, actually, I want to do a versatile sew-in. That way I can have a different hairstyle for the welcome party and the wedding. I shouldn't have did that. I left too much of my hair out, and again, I'm natural. So by the end of the night, you could see where my hair was starting to frizz up a bit compared to, you know, the weave. But it was okay. It was nothing like dramatic. It wasn't too bad to like, girl, what happened to your hair? Like, it wasn't nothing bad like that. But I will say, if that was one thing I would go back and change, it would be to stick to the side part and not do the versatile sew-in. That way I didn't have as much left out, okay? Because baby, my hair was, the leave out was getting left. Okay? But yeah, highly recommend Beauty Experts in X. When I decided to book with them, I saw that they worked with a lot of black women. They had a lot of black women on their page. So I was like, okay, I can deal with that, because you know, you want to make sure that they're going to have your shade. You want to make sure that, you know, they're going to be able to work with your skin complexion. So that was definitely something that I took into consideration when I was booking them, and they were A1. All right, now we are going to move into the next category of packing for a destination wedding / what is everything that I took with me. So, as y'all could tell from the budget breakdown, every little thing costs at Dreams, okay? So as far as the small things that I could bring with me, oh, I was bringing them with me. I was not going to get them from that resort, because y'all was not about to be taking more of my coins that didn't need to be taken, okay? So a list of things that I brought with me. So I brought all of my signage with me. That included my welcome sign, my unplugged ceremony sign. I bought the easels that signage was on. I actually have my welcome sign with me, and now that I think about it, I never got my unplugged ceremony sign back. I don't know what happened to it, but I made that on Cricut. I just got and I think I have a video or something that I can pop in right here to show you guys, but I just purchased a acrylic sheet from Lowe's or Home Depot, one of those, and Cricuted my sign. And then our welcome sign was this sign right here, and I got this made on Vistaprint. It just says Sean and Zenise with our wedding date. Kept it real simple, and I think this was like $40 to print this. I'm not sure what size this is. This is either 11 by 14 or no, this is not no 11 by 14, Zenise. What? I don't know. I'm gonna look at my receipt and put down what size it is in the description box. But got that from Vistaprint, $40 or $50, not expensive at all. So I did take my signage with me, and then also our neon sign. We ended up, we bought that with us too, okay, baby? I ordered that off of Amazon, and what we did was we kept it in the box that it came in. So I opened it up just to make sure everything was good. I took all of the plugs and the remote out of there and put that in my suitcase, and then I wrapped the neon sign in some more bubble wrap. It already came bubble wrap, but I wanted to add a little extra, and then taped it right back up in the box. I did throw an air tag in there. I will say, while we on this topic of packing, get you some air tags, okay? So I threw an air tag in there just so we were able to track it and make sure that it made it across the border with us, okay? So all of our signage, including the neon sign, I brought with me. My centerpieces. So, and I think I documented this in one of the vlogs from the wedding week, is how I brought all of my glass cylinder vases with me, because the resort was trying to charge me something crazy and I can't even remember how much it was. And I said, oh no, I'll be bringing 10 of those for my 10 tables. So I did bring 10 with me. 4 of them did break. Even though I bubble wrapped them and kind of taped them up really secure, 4 of them broke. So luckily the resort did just give me the 4 without charging me, because they knew I had brought mostly all of them with me. So I brought those cylinder vases with me, and as well as bringing the floating LED candles that went inside of them. So at Dreams, you cannot have like open flame candles or anything like that. So we did the LED candles that light up when you put them in water. So our setup was basically, and I'll have to dig and see if I have a photo. If not, I'll put it in here. We did the like floating candles in the cylinder vases and put flowers from the arch right inside, okay? Be resourceful. Use the flowers you got. Don't buy no more flowers. Use the ones you got from the arch and the pedestal things from the ceremony. So those were my centerpieces, and then I did bring my own table numbers as well as the name cards. I made my name cards with my Cricut as well. Those were just like little acrylic hexagons with people's names on them. So I did bring table numbers and those name cards. Additionally, we brought the escort tags that went on the champagne glasses for our champagne wall. Oh, that was another upgrade I forgot to mention previously. That's what I'm saying. It was a lot of upgrades, y'all. I'll try and list every single last one of them down below in the description box, but the champagne wall was another upgrade. So I did bring my own. I brought the tags for the champagne glasses. That was basically our seating chart. It had everybody's names with their table number. Now, speaking on that, I did get questions about things that didn't turn out the way I wanted them or wasn't right. Champagne wall was probably one of the only things that I'm not gonna say I wasn't happy about, but it wasn't given. It was given what I asked for versus what I got, and I ain't like that. So when I initially added on the champagne wall as an upgrade, they sent me I sent them a picture of what I wanted, which I'll pop in right here, and then I will show you guys what I got. And I just was like, that don't look like the picture. And by the time, you know, it was already set up out there, we was about to, you know, it was too late. And I was just like, that doesn't look like what I asked for, but it is what it is. It just looked, to be quite honest, for a $600 champagne wall, and I think it was $600. It might have been more. I need to double check that, honestly. Yeah, for a $600, basically $750 champagne wall, it looked cheap to me, to be quite honest. And that was one thing that I just did not like. I thought it was gonna have more shelves and rows for the champagne glasses, but it didn't. But again, like I said, by the time I saw it set up, I was literally about to walk down the aisle, so I just was like, whatever. I didn't make a big deal about it because, again, it was, to me, the day was here, it was starting, it was nothing I could really do about it, so I just didn't make a big fuss about it. I don't think people really even noticed too much. I knew because I picked out what I wanted, and that wasn't necessarily what I wanted. But it was what it was. I didn't make a big deal about it, but that is one of the like details that I was not the happiest about, but again, it wasn't a big deal to me. But said all that to say, I bought the escort tags off of Etsy for the champagne glasses. Other things that we bought were more like personalized items. So we did a lot of small personalized details. So we did personalized drink stirs, and if any of my TikTok brides are watching this, I feel like those drink stirs had us in a chokehold in 2023. But we did 2 different styles of the drink stirs. We did one that said Mr. and Mrs. Polk, and those are the ones that we had on the actual wedding day. And then we had another style that just said Destination Polk with the wedding date, and we used those at the welcome party. In addition to the drink stirs, we did do the fun fact napkins that, again, I got from TikTok. Saw everybody using these, so we had these napkins available at the wedding too, and they just said 4 or 5, I don't have the picture in front of me, fun facts about our relationship on these napkins. And then we did the personalized drink toppers. So again, we had 2 different versions of these. This one we had at the welcome party that just said Destination Polk, Sean and Denise. And then this style right here we had for the actual wedding day, and this matched the monogram that was on our dance floor. So I was very intentional about the monograms and logos, I guess you could call it, for each event. So the Destination Polk was like our theme for just the entire weekend as a whole. So we used that on like welcome bags and like I said, at the welcome party and things like that. And then the S and the Z Polk was for the actual wedding day. So those were the personalized items that we brought. And then additionally, I did bring picture frames. So we used these picture frames on the tables at the welcome party as well as at the cocktail hour. And then the last thing that we bought were all of the items that were going in our welcome bags. And then I believe in the wedding week vlog part 1, I showed you guys me putting the bags together at the resort. It was just easier that way, to do it that way. Just bring all the stuff that you're bringing, put it all in. I went and got big like Ziploc bags and just put all of the items. So what we put in them were Clorox wipes, Purell, banana boat sunscreen, eye patches for the ladies, the reusable straw kits. Get those. Those are off Amazon because Dreams, specifically Playa Mujeres, is a strawless resort. They're not going to give you a straw unless you ask for one. So I saw those kits on Amazon and I said, oh, we need these to put in our bags, because I'm the type of person, I like to drink out of straw personally, especially you at a resort, everybody's mouth's been on them cups, you know, just give me a straw. So I bought those I bought those reusable straw kits off of Amazon. They were perfect. They came with a little case that you could put the straw in. It comes with a cleaner right in there, and it had a little hook so you could hook it onto the last thing that I made, which were the personalized key card holders. This was a super last minute DIY project that I did maybe the week before we left. I saw it on TikTok and I was like, oh, I need to do that. So basically I just got cardstock. I used, again, our Destination Polk wedding logo, and then just put welcome and then the guest name. And then I ordered the little plastic sleeve card holder things off of Amazon, along with the wristbands. All of that stuff is from Amazon. I'll also link my Amazon storefront, my bridal 2023 list down below too, because everything that I purchased off of Amazon is in that storefront. So I can share that with you guys if y'all want to see exactly everything that I purchased for my wedding off of Amazon. And then that actually isn't the last thing. The last thing that I bought were fans. So I bought fans because, like I said, baby, it was hot out there and I did not want my guests passing out. So I was like, the least I could do is make sure they all have some fans. So I bought these heart-shaped fans off of Amazon as well. They came in a pack of 100 for like $35. So they were perfect, and they were on the seats for all of the guests when they got to the ceremony. That way they could fit in themselves. You don't want your guests passing out. So that was all the stuff that I brought with me. So like I said, it was a lot of things, but I didn't want to get all of those small little things through the resort and be paying more than what I needed to be paying. So how did we pack all of that? Good question. I got that a lot. How did you go about packing for your destination wedding? I will say pack smart. Do not just be throwing any and everything in the suitcase and you end up with 10 suitcases. That's excessive. You do not need all those suitcases. And that's how people get stopped at customs as well too. So getting stopped at customs was something I was a little nervous about, because I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna search our stuff and they're gonna charge us taxes and whatever. Luckily, we did not get stopped. We got stopped walking out, and they asked us like, hey, what's in the box that had our neon sign in it. We told them like, hey, this is a sign for our wedding, and they said okay, and they let us go. I've seen stories about people being stopped and them going through their bags and charging them hundreds of dollars in taxes because they think they don't know what you coming over there to do. So pack smart. All in all, we had 4 suitcases and our neon sign box. So we didn't look like we were trying to come live in Mexico for a month. We just looked like normal people with 2 suitcases apiece and then the box. So we had 2 suitcases full of decor and all of the stuff that we brought with us. So all that stuff that I just named that we packed with us, that was in 2 suitcases. And then both Sean and I had 1 suitcase full of clothes. Also, I would say don't overpack your clothes either. We were there for a week and I didn't wear half the clothes that I packed, okay? Don't overpack on the clothes. So that's why I say just pack smart. Just pack smart in a way of like, you pack all of your decor and all of the things that you're gonna bring with you, compact and concise as much as you can, and then don't overpack with your clothing. Like, think about your wedding events or what you're gonna be doing. Like, half the outfits I didn't wear because I was in a bathing suit all day. Like, it just, you gotta think about that type of stuff. So that's pretty much how we got everything packed. And as far as like my signage, I bubble wrap these. So I got so many not bundles, what are they called, so many things of bubble wrap before we left, because I just wanted to make sure that nothing broke. But I just bubble wrapped these signs, and then I did have a few small like acrylic signs that I didn't even end up putting out because I made them on my Cricut. They were a couple of like share the love signs where I wanted people to scan the QR code and upload their pictures. They didn't do that, so I didn't even waste my time putting those out. But I did take those with me, and I put those in like little mailers, you know, the mailers that are lined with the bubble wrap. I had put those in those. That way they didn't break. So really just bubble wrap is gonna be your best friend. Any type of mailers, like the mailer that this was, I think this came in a mailer, or maybe this came in a box, I don't remember, but I did have a big mailer that was lined with bubble wrap, and I put my bigger acrylic sign in that one too. So lay flat, and I think I have some video clips. They should, if I didn't put them in here, but you'll see how I pack those up. So, oh, and then lastly, of course, my dress, duh. So for my dress, I did have a Wally bag that, again, I got off of Amazon. Actually, my mom got it for me for one of my bridal shower gifts, but it was just this one that says bride. I was able to put my dress in here, my welcome party dress, and then Sean put a couple of his outfits that he didn't want to get like wrinkled and stuff in here as well. So this fit a lot of stuff in this Wally bag, and we were able to actually hang it up in the closet right there on the plane, which was amazing. Shout out to American. So that kind of leads me into the next part of traveling. So we traveled with American, and we actually did first class. So when we first bought our tickets, well, we bought the whole package of our room and our flight. We just bought regular normal tickets, and then as we got closer, I kept an eye out for upgrades, because I knew since we would have so many suitcases, I didn't like paying all those fees and suitcases. We was gonna be paying like $200, you know, for all of our bags. So I was like, oh, we might as well just upgrade to first class for $150, and that way both of our bags are free and we don't have to pay for, you know, anything like that. And also, when you are first class, your bag can be a little bit heavier than the 50 pounds. So again, with me knowing that we was having all this decor and all this stuff with us, I was like, okay, our bags is definitely gonna be more than 50 pounds. So let's go ahead and upgrade to first class, which we did, which I was so excited about. That was my first time flying first class. So hello, going to my wedding, why not? So we just upgraded to first class. That way we didn't have to pay for baggage fees, and then our bags could be a little bit more overweight too. So once we got there, then we had private transportation. Again, all this was booked by our travel agent. Shout out to Candace. And then the room that we got, this was Sean's only request for basically the whole weekend. He was like, listen, you do what you do. My only request is that we have a swim out pool, or the swim out room, so I don't have to always go down to the normal pool if I want to get in the water. I said, okay, bet. Swim out room it is. So we did the king swim out something. It was the king swim out room. I'll put a video in here somewhere. Now, because we were getting married, or I don't even know if it was because we're getting married or because of the room that we chose, we were preferred. So in Dreams, they have like the preferred, which is basically like, I don't even know, you know, it's just basically like VIP, not VIP, basically. So we were preferred. Most of our guests did not book preferred, and I don't think they noticed the difference of what was preferred and what was not. So I don't think that's necessarily something. If you want to do preferred, by all means go right ahead. I don't know if that's something that is absolutely necessary when you're looking into your room or whatever, but I do believe if you are getting married there, they typically do put you in like a preferred room. So that was travel and room. Next up, we're gonna go into basically just like my timeline of day. I did get a few questions about what did my timeline look like and things like that. Y'all, the timeline for us was so smooth and easy because again, we did not have a bridal party. We didn't have nobody to worry about but ourselves, and I absolutely loved that, okay? My hair and makeup artist, she came at 11 o'clock. She did my mom from like 11 to 11:45. My mom was only getting her makeup done. So she did my mom first, and then after that she was on me. So I want to say I started my hair and makeup around maybe like 12, and I was done by like 3:45. And then morning of, we decided last minute to do a first look. So I was so against a first look. The entire wedding planning process, I was against doing a first look. I was like, no, I don't want to ruin the moment. I want to see him for the first time down the aisle. Baby, once again, when we realized how hot it was out there, we hit up our photography team, and that's another reason why I absolutely love just having like our own photography and videography team there, because they not only captured the whole weekend, so they were at the welcome party and all of that, but they were super flexible. Had we decided last minute we wanted to do a first look with, I think, a local vendor, they probably would have been like, well, no, that's gonna mess up our timeline, and I don't know. But it was just great to be able to just text my photographer and be like, don't kill me, but we need to do a first look. And they was like, bet. You know. So we decided, like I said, last minute to do a first look because it was so hot, y'all. It was so hot. It was so hot out there, and we knew at 5:30 when that ceremony was over, we was not gonna be in the mood to take pictures for no hour. So we were like, let's do the first look. That way we can get some pictures in beforehand while we still looking fresh and hair and makeup is still intact. let's get as many pictures as we can in now, and then afterwards, of course, we'll go shoot some more pictures, but we won't have to be out here as long. Because I kid you not, after that ceremony and we took a couple shots, I was over it. My photographer, shout out to Aaron, his name is Aaron too, so DJ and photographer's name were Aaron. He was like, just hold on for a little bit longer, Z, just a couple more shots. I was ready at that point. I was just so excited, and I was ready to just go like have a good time at the reception. I just was ready to just like go enjoy our reception. He was like, just hold on for a couple more shots. So I was like, all right. But I knew, and I was so glad we decided literally at 10 o'clock in the morning, let's do a first look. Because it was so hot, and I just wanted and even though my shots after the wedding, my hair and makeup still looked bomb, okay? Still looked fire. But I just wanted to be able to, again, start our reception a little earlier, get to our people, and just have a good time. So we ended up doing the first look right around like 4:15, 4:30. Like, it wasn't a long first look. And I did get a question about, like, I guess basically where did you take your pictures? Did you worry about people seeing you beforehand? All of that. So where we did our first look at, in hindsight, I'm like, why did we go up there? Where we did our first look at was at the lobby bar. And in this picture, you can see that it's just, it opens up to where like the central garden. So anybody who's down like at the central garden, anywhere, you can easily look up and see you at the lobby bar, because it's just like a clear like glass right there. So I'm pretty sure people saw me, because we could see some of our like friends and family getting ready to head to the central garden for the wedding, like, you know, getting their pictures in and stuff beforehand. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure they saw me. And even a couple of them were like trying to come up to the bar just to like get a drink and stuff beforehand. But my friend Mariah, shout out to Mariah, was like, y'all know Z's up here taking pictures, and they like were 100% cool with that. They were like, oh no, my bad, we'll head somewhere else, you know. So I wasn't really pressed about people seeing me. I'm like, at this point, I done seen y'all all weekend, it ain't no surprise, you know. So I wasn't too pressed about like, oh, I can't let anybody see me beforehand. I really did not care. It was what it was, okay? So didn't really worry about people seeing me too much. Another question was, where did I come from, or where did I walk from? Did anybody see me walking towards where the wedding was? We stayed in building 6. So that building is right off of basically the central garden. So I came from the side, and I'll try and put a video in right here. I came from the side and walked along the side of where the central garden is. These tables and everything were already set up, so nobody was back there, so nobody saw me until I got to like the little podium area that you kind of walk up and across before you go down the over the water ceremony. So nobody saw me until I got really to the center of the central garden. So yeah, that was pretty much my timeline, because I didn't have to worry about scheduling hair and makeup for 5-6 other people. It was literally my mom went, I went, we did our first look, then we got the show on the road and had our wedding. So our ceremony started at 5 o'clock. Ceremony was pretty much over by 5:30. We took pictures and, you know, did all of that. And then I don't remember what time we actually like walked in for the reception, but I know it was like 6 something. It was before 7 o'clock, which the reception was scheduled between 7 and 10, but we got started early. We were like, we ready, let's just get the party started. So the reception went from 7 to 10, and then after that we went straight to the club over on Secret Side. So we went to Desires and had the after party, and that was the timeline. So again, if you are debating on having a bridal party, it makes your timeline a lot easier, I will say that. Speaking of bridal parties, I did get a question about, did I feel like the clear platform over the water was big enough to hold a bridal party? depending on how many people you have in your bridal party. Having a smaller bridal party, about like 3 people each, yes. Anything more than that is gonna get a little tight, I will say. And I don't know if they build out the platform bigger depending on how many people you have on your bridal party and if they're going to be standing up there with you, because again, it was just us and the minister up there. So I don't know if they didn't build like the back part out as far as, you know, as it goes, or it could go, just because they knew nobody else was going to be up there. So for the size that we had, I wouldn't have had more than 2 or 3 other people on each side up there. That's just from what what the size that we had. Again, I don't know if they build it out bigger, if they know people have bigger bridal parties, but for the size that we had, I wouldn't squeeze no more than 2 to 3 people on each side, just because it is very, I didn't even want to make a wrong step, because I was like, Lord, I'm not trying to fall in this pool now, okay? If you do plan on having a bigger bridal party, I would ask them about that, as far as like if they build the platform bigger depending on your bridal party size. So with that being said, that pretty much rounds out a lot of the details. Last thing I did want to talk about is just any regrets or changes I would have done, or anything I would have done differently. To be honest, no. My whole wedding experience was something that I can't even put into words, because it was literally so magical, so good, such a dream. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, and it will hands down be a weekend I will never ever forget. And I tell this to any and everybody who asks me, having a destination wedding is such an experience. It is such an unforgettable experience, not just for the simple fact of a wedding took place and I married the love of my life, but the simple fact that I had, and even Sean, a lot of our family, our friends who had never been out of the country. They got a passport. This was their first time experiencing traveling in that way, and it was for us. It's something that is just like indescribable. Like seeing my family members, and I don't even remember the last time me and my family, all of my family in that aspect, including my grandmother who is 80 plus, who made it out to Mexico. Like, I'm not about to get emotional, but just having all of the people who mean the world to us there, nothing could top that. So if you are debating having a destination wedding, I stand 10 toes down, 1,000%. Have that destination wedding. You will get some people who, well, why, of course you're going to get some of those people who question, well, why do you have to have a destination wedding? You can't just get married here. At the end of the day, if it's what you and your partner want, do it. Do it. And like I said, having my family make that trip for me, and not only for me, but me and my husband, was just something that it touched my soul and in my heart in a different way. Because like I said, I don't remember the last time me and all of my family went on a vacation like that. I don't even know if we've ever all been on vacation like that together. Of course, growing up, me and my parents and stuff like that, but the simple fact that I had all of my cousins, my parents have like 10 godchildren, and I want to say 7 of them were there. So all of my god brothers and god sisters were there. It just was such an experience, and who knows if we will ever all get to have an experience like that together again. So it's something that is going to live in my heart for the rest of my life. So having a destination wedding is truly an indescribable feeling, and I keep saying, I advocate for destination weddings because they are such an experience. And if you were going to spend all this money on one occasion. Baby, make it an experience, okay? And like I said, everybody's wedding is different. Your budget does not have to look like how ours looked. What you want does not have to look like what mine looked. Again, I did this solely to be transparent so that anybody who is planning a destination wedding or wants to plan one, you kind of go into it with a little bit more knowledge than I did. I am here to be a resource for you guys. So even though I'm not in my bridal era anymore, I love this bridal space, especially for women who look like me, because again, 2 years ago when I was starting my planning journey, I didn't know where to start, and I damn sure didn't find many women that looked like me who were telling me about, you know, what they spend and what things cost. And I just feel like that overall in the wedding space in general is not something that's talked about a lot. You don't know how much a wedding is until you in it and you like, God damn, I should have started saving before I even knew you. Because it's a lot. It is a lot. So again, I'm just here to be a resource for you guys. And like I said, I absolutely 100% recommend having a destination wedding. I will say, don't overspend. Do not spend money on things that are not necessary. That is one of my, okay, I'm not gonna say it's a regret, but, and I heard this going into wedding planning when they say, don't waste your money buying designer heels for your wedding, because first of all, I didn't even wear my wedding shoes on my wedding day. Y'all, ain't that something crazy? I didn't even talk about that. I did not even wear my wedding shoes. I didn't even wear my wedding shoes on my wedding day. I had on sandals my wedding day. I ended up wearing the shoes to the welcome party. So I spent $1,400 on some designer heels. I had the Renee Calvia, you know, spirally, sparkly bottom Cinderella shoes. And I knew probably that Friday, I was like, I am not gonna wear these shoes on Sunday. So I was like, I'm just gonna wear them to the welcome party. So that's one of my tips. Don't waste money on things that's not important. That $1,400 could have went to something else. But that's neither here nor there. I really hope you guys enjoyed this bridal video. I hope this wasn't too long. I feel like I've been talking for forever, but I wanted to be very thorough, very detailed, and share with you guys not only my experience, but how much this shit costs, because it's not cheap. Again, it is not cheap. So I thank you guys for coming along with me on my bridal journey the past 2 years, and especially shout out to all of the bride-to-bees and all of the fiancés who have slid in my DMs, who have messaged me and found me on TikTok and say how much my wedding inspired you, or you're taking how helpful my videos have been. I literally got a DM. I'm recording this on a Friday. I got a DM on Wednesday saying like, hey, I found your YouTube videos. They've been so helpful. I'm planning a wedding in Cancun myself. Y'all don't understand how much that means to me. I truly appreciate that, just because for the simple fact, I debated on if I wanted to share my wedding planning journey, just because again, people can get real judgmental, and you know, people like to pocket watch a little bit and be like, why would you ever spend that much money on a wedding? You know, you get all of those type of things. So I was a little hesitant, I'm not gonna lie, to share my wedding planning journey, just because I didn't want, you know, I didn't want that energy. But I am so glad that I did, because just off of y'all's messages alone the past year, because even before I got married and shared my actual wedding, I was getting people messaging me about what I was already showing on YouTube and TikTok. So I just genuinely appreciate y'all so much, and I am so glad that this content has been helpful to you guys. Again, I am always here as a resource for you guys, even though I'm not a bride anymore. But I appreciate y'all so much. And to all of my fiancés and bride-to-be's, I follow y'all back after you message me, so I am here for the journey. I cannot wait to see y'all as brides. I know you all are gonna be beautiful. Your weddings are gonna be stunning, and I cannot wait to see them. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Again, thank you so much, and happy wedding planning to all of my bride-to-be's. So thank y'all. I will see you in my next video.